Blair White. Blair, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You were born a boy, right?
Yeah.
You were born a boy. And when you were a boy, did you feel like a boy?
I guess not. No, I guess I always felt different from the time I was this high.
And what did you feel like?
I just felt like I was different from all the other, kids in school. I felt just a different essence within myself. I felt more feminine.
You felt like a girl.
Yeah.
As a little boy, you felt like a girl.
Yeah.
How does little boys know what girls feel like?
I don't know. That's a weird question. I guess it's more of like feeling femininity and masculinity, not like a girl, but feeling feminine or masculine. And I was never into boy activities, never related to boys.
And so, did you feel uncomfortable being a boy but feeling like a girl? Did you think something was wrong, or did you see that as being normal?
I guess I didn't really have the words to describe it even to myself internally. It wasn't until I got older that I found the language to describe how I actually felt. But it did feel strange, and for a long time, it took a long time to really figure out what exactly it was.
And were you able to talk to your parents about it while growing up? Did you say, oh, Dad, oh, Mom, I feel like a girl even though I'm a boy?
No. I mean, I could have been able to if I had the words, like I said, but I didn't really.
As you got older and started school and the kids call you names, did they say you were acting like a sissy or anything like that?
Yeah, middle school was a lot of bullying for sure.
Yeah, and what was that like for you?
It was hard, but I appreciate that I went through it because it made me a lot stronger as a person.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
And so at what point did you decide, well, I'm going to switch my body parts from man to woman?
Probably age 19 or 20.
And I've asked other people this too. What does a woman feel like?
You mean like what's it feel like to be one?
Yes. Because being a man, there are no feelings. You don't feel like a man. And I hear a lot of men who have been traumatized say that they feel like a woman. What does a woman feel like?
I would never be able to know what being a biological woman feels like, but I know what it's like to be myself and to be a trans woman. I know what it's like to be Blaire White, so that's kind of what I go on.
Right.
I'm just a naturally feminine person. I've always been since I was, like I said, this high, and so that's the way my life panned out because that's just what I was.
Do you think that God made a mistake by giving you boy parts, knowing that you were a girl? Like, you know how you up in heaven and they put in this body together?
Yeah, I
Because
remember.
the father and mother's about to make a baby, right? So they put in this body together. Do you think going through the factory they made a mistake?
Well, I
something
don't.
else went wrong?
Well, I don't particularly believe in God, so it's not necessarily something I could answer. If I were to, accept that God exists, I would say probably not a mistake. I mean,
So you don't believe in God?
no, I don't think about it too much. I'm not like an atheist. I'm not like anti-religion, anti-God,
Right.
anti-theism at all. But I don't think about it.
And so where do you get your morality? Where do you get your values from, if not from God?
I guess just from a basic comprehension of what hurts people, what helps people, what's good and what's bad for people. I think just moving throughout the world, you kind of develop that. I don't necessarily need the Bible. Obviously, we live in a based Christian society.
It's interesting, even though you have changed the body parts, you were born a boy, meaning that you're not able to get pregnant, have a child, does that concern you? Maybe you are a boy, but something else went wrong, and instead of changing the body parts, find out what went wrong so you can get back on track?
You mean like seek a different type of help other than transition?
Right. Because if you were born a woman, you would have those parts where you would be able to at least get pregnant.
Yeah, but the thing is, there is no alternative route for people who have gender dysphoria. It's either live with it. I mean, there's no type of therapy that's proven to be successful.
But my point is, God, and I know you don't believe in God,
Right.
but He created us all. He created us male and female, right? And so He doesn't make mistakes. And so He made you male, but something happened that made you think you're female.
Well, I've never thought I'm female. It's not like I look in the mirror and hallucinate and think, oh, that's a female. It's never been that. It was more of, I know to live a successful, fulfilled, and happy life, I needed to assume the life of one and live as one.
Oh, I
not
see.
necessarily. I don't think like, I don't have weird hallucinations. I don't think that I am something I'm not. I know I'm biologically male. I was born that way, will die that way. But luckily we live in, a society in which you can make changes to yourself, you can live the life that you want, and so I took advantage of that.
Did society make the right decision to accept this, knowing that it's not right to accept men and women who think that they're a man or a woman, blah, blah, blah? Or should society have stood with what they knew was right and help the person to overcome the problem?
Well, there was many centuries of trying that. I mean, there's been a lot of, failed attempts at therapy for trans people other than transition. None of them have ever worked. I'm not saying that someday there couldn't be, but the fact of the matter is transition is really the only route for people, unless you want to just tell people to like live with this debilitating mental disorder and then end up killing themselves or something. But again, this is where the disconnect between you and I is going to happen, because you get your morality from the Bible and I get mine. I look at like what hurts people. If they're good people, they are lawful people, they are nice people, they don't hurt anyone. So I don't think of it as like, oh, that's wrong to accept.
I've interviewed several people who gone through this process, and they realized it was a mistake after they've done it, and many committed suicide.
Yeah, you can always find those people for
once
sure.
they did it, they realized it wasn't the right thing to do, but it's too late now. I don't know if you can reverse it back to whatever you came from.
Yeah.
But it's too late for them, so they end up committing suicide. And there are some facilities, hospitals, or doctors that won't do it now because of the rise in suicide with transgender people.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I think that sounds like a horror story. It would be really horrible to go through changes and realize that it's not what you wanted. I think what happens is a lot of trans people have sort of the wrong mindset when it comes to transition. A lot of them live their lives in transition, like I said, is their end all be all. So that is like their ultimate goal, that's what they want. And then they do it and they realize, oh, I have the rest of my life to live. Yeah. And I have no other aspirations, no other goals. I've spent my life savings on this. And then I think a deep depression can follow that for sure.
Right. Can you go back?
It depends on what you do. I mean, it depends on what surgeries you've had, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I guess if you have genital reassignment surgery, then you kind of can't. But everything else, I'm pretty sure you can kind of switch back.
I read that you don't like the LGBT community. Is that true?
Yeah, I made a video just kind of mapping out like my issues with the community as a whole. When I was talking about that, I was speaking more in terms of like LGBT activists. And also, I think I talked a little bit about like pride events, which I've never been a fan of.
Right.
I found them, I've always found them to be kind of counterproductive. I think they had an important place back in the day, but now they've kind of turned into something different. I also talked about like the political bias within the LGBT community and how like it's more about politics rather than actually accepting trans people.
Are you liberal or conservative?
I would say I lean right.
And how did that happen?
I think just getting older and being an adult. It's just my honest interpretation of the world.
Yeah, I noticed on your videos you seem to be honest about what you believe in. Do you debate other transgenders who disagree with you? Have you done debates?
I'll debate anyone, but I think I've debated a trans person before. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Are you disliked by them because you are conservative or
Absolutely.
Right? Really?
Yeah.
Are you surprised by that?
No. Not surprised, because like I said, there is that really extreme political bias within that community. So,
President Trump just has said that no transgenders in the military, any branch at all. How do you feel about that?
It's not the biggest deal to me. What was more important to me was finding out and making sure that the trans people who were already enlisted before the ban was enacted, that they didn't lose any benefits or anything, and they didn't get like dishonorably discharged or anything like that.
But I found out that the military was paying for their surgery, for them to transform from man to woman or woman to man. And it just seemed wrong that they would go in there and the military would have to pay for that.
Yeah, I would agree. Taxpayers probably shouldn't be paying for sex changes. I think there's a lot of other costs that the military, throws out that are kind of unnecessary too, but I agree.
Yeah. And so you must not be liked by the transgender community for feeling this way or having those values.
No, I definitely am the black sheep in that community for sure.
How do you feel when people don't like you?
I don't care.
You don't care at all? It doesn't bother you at
No.
all?
I have my mom, I have the person I'm with, my friends that I like. I don't care if like strangers or like trans people I don't know don't like me because of my videos. I don't care.
Did you vote for President Trump?
I did. It was my first time voting too, which if you would have told me when I was a teenager I'd be voting for the first time Republican and voting for Donald Trump, I would have said, I would never have believed it. Never.
So what made you vote for him? Why President Trump?
It was a lot of things. The first thing I think was a big reason for a lot of people was a severe aversion to Hillary Clinton and the Clinton family. So that was the first thing. I appreciated him straight talking about Islam, because that's a big thing for me because I am trans. I also appreciated the message of border control, national security, that kind of stuff. I appreciated that during the campaign he made a really strong effort to take it to the people, whereas I felt like the Clinton campaign was very celebrity driven, very media driven.
That's amazing. Do you like the idea of putting a big, beautiful wall around the border?
Yes, I do.
That's amazing. That is something else to me. That's cool. In the meetings, we were talking about if I were going to call you a he or a she, right? So we're going back and forth with that.
Right.
If I call you he, would you be offended by that instead of she?
Offended's a strong word, probably annoyed.
You'd be annoyed, and why?
Because it would just come across as very intentional and not because it was natural.
How about if in my mind I know that you're a boy, and so because you changed the body part, it didn't change my mind, and so just knowing
Did or
that
didn't?
did not.
Okay.
So in knowing that, I'm still calling you a boy, but it's not meant to be mean. Would you accept it then?
Well, except in what way? Like, would we like go hang out and like we'd be at McDonald's and you'd call me he in front of everyone? Like, probably not that.
No, I mean like doing this interview.
Oh, I could stomach it. I don't care.
Would you be offended?
No, like I said, that's a strong word. I'd probably be annoyed. I would flip this table. Just kidding.
I noticed that straight, white, conservative, Christian men of power, especially, are hated by minorities, by the social justice warriors, by identity politics people. Why do they hate the straight, white, conservative Christian man so much?
I think people in general all have biases and hatred to a certain extent, and that group happens to be kind of the easiest to vocalize it. You can't just walk around talking about how you hate black people or how you hate gay people or how you know what I mean? So people kind of expel that energy where they can. And then again, it's like the aspect of like blaming people for your problems. So blame the person that you see is in power as the reason why you're not in power.
Right. They didn't denounce those people.
Yeah.
If they had they stood up and said, "No, you're lying. I'm not responsible for your poor life. It's you," would they be seen in a different light today?
Probably if they hadn't let. I mean, the culture did swing very far left for a very long time. So I guess if there was more of a push and pull, it wouldn't be as bad as it is now.
Speaking of Black Lives Matter, do you agree with me that they are a radical, evil, agitative organization that's built on black lesbians and homosexuals and social justice warriors?
It's a pretty terrible group. I've made videos criticizing Black Lives Matter a ton.
Yeah.
I don't know where the lesbian thing came from. What's that?
Black lesbians, they some rough-looking girls. You ever seen them?
I have. Seen many of them out here.
What I wouldn't want to fight with them.
I wouldn't want to fight with a black lesbian either.
Have you been attacked by them because of what you said?
Oh yeah, for sure. Last summer I made a video kind of like mapping out all my criticisms of the movement. And it was definitely an inflammatory video. Like a lot of my videos are kind of harshly worded and kind of abrasive sometimes. And from that, Black Lives Matter kind of like organized around doxing me, which is releasing my information, my address, my phone number, all of that.
Really?
Yeah, and I had some crazy death threats. I had to talk to the FBI. It was like a big thing.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's amazing. See how evil they are? At least the KKK won't release your address. Bruce Jenner has become one of the most famous transgender people in the world, I guess. What's your impression of Bruce?
I think she's legally Caitlyn now, right? I don't know. Feels weird saying Bruce still. But not a huge fan of Caitlyn Jenner at all.
Why not?
I just think she's kind of weird and creepy. It's not even like a huge thing. I'm not like, oh, she did this, so she's. It's more just a weird and creepy thing.
In what way?
The voice weirds me out. The behavior weirds me out. The waiting until you're 60 weirds me out. But again, everyone's different. Politically, I align somewhat with Caitlyn Jenner, and I relate to the being like the black sheep of the trans community thing. So on that level, I kind of like feel her, but I don't know, not a huge fan. Not a fan of the whole Kardashian media thing, and that's what she really was a part of. So, and then she like drunk drove and killed someone, right? So that's not good. Not drunk, just texting.
My last thing is they are now going to a point where they have this thing called no gender. Instead of boy or girl, they don't want gender identification anymore. Is that ridiculous?
Obviously, there's no scientific basis behind being an actual non-male or female. Like people are just male or female.
Do you think they should be teaching this to boys and girls when they're 5 years of age? Should they be teaching that to kids at such an early age?
No, I don't see a reason why kids should learn about like the intricacies of like being trans or even being gay. I think people find that out when they're older, regardless.
Yeah. I enjoyed talking to you. Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.